Alrighty. Everybody, welcome to the Safe Haven, man. Y'all, this is an AMA we're having, and I want to let everybody who's here know that nothing you hear is financial advice at all. We're just here to help you make the best investment decision possible because you can talk directly to the team and gain information you otherwise wouldn't be able to. Now, first off, I want to start off by asking the guest here that if you are if you are going to add a what would I say? If you're going to add a section where you just want to straight talk about the project a whole lot apart, right? Apart from the AMA, we'll leave room for that at the end. But I asked that, wait a minute, hold a second, guys. I got activity going on. My baby cousin's here. Okay. So yeah, like I was saying. My bad. But anyways, yeah, man, we're gonna leave time at the end where if you just want to add a bunch of exclusive things or drop any alpha about the project, you've got that at the end. But outside from that, man, just answer the questions with integrity directly. And the people who are listening, I ask that you would do the same exact thing when it comes to answering questions and everything else like that, man. So let's go ahead and get this started up. So tell us about yourself, man. How did you get into this space in the first place?
Yeah, so I first got into crypto 2 years ago, and it was with the blue chips and investing and just understanding the space. That was pretty much when the market was at its top, at its peak. It was on the highs. So I made some investments, got wrecked. Then I started trading, got wrecked some more. Did that for many months. Eventually took a break from that and came back into the space about a year ago. Well, I was always stayed in the space, but not so much. I came back into the DeFi about a year ago. So that's when I got exposed to the DeFi world, and also the startups and the small caps and the meme coins and all that stuff. So a year in that space brought me to understand and learn uh, the games being played, the whole meme space, the fun gambling space, and the farming and the rugging and the scamming and the bullshit. From that, it brought me to learn and figure out how blockchain works and track and do more due diligence from there. So that's how I gained my knowledge of the DeFi space and the blockchain. And what brought me to this point where I've created this bot with partners to help people see what I was seeing. I know I could have been saved or earned more many, many times had I known what was going on the blockchain as it was happening and not after the fact. So after I get dusted or rugged or made bad choices or even not made an investment because I wasn't aware, I would only see the information after the fact when it was too late. So that's my time in the space and what led me to bring this information to the masses and hopes to help them save them or be smarter, be more diligent, have more information at their disposal to make more informed decisions.
Man, good words. Good words. I like it. All right. So let's get more into the project, man. So tell me, what is the centerpiece of the project? Like, what's the problem you guys are trying to solve?
So the problem is people trying to trade safely, I guess, or even just gamble in a safer space because it's pretty wild. So the problem we're trying to solve is not everybody understands how to read the blockchain. Number one, so we want to try to provide that information to them in an easier way, in a way they can understand it or at least learn from it and be more fluent of what's happening by bringing that information to them. So we're trying to solve people gaining knowledge on how to trade And also, we're trying to solve the problem. Like I said, it's a time is critical. So even the people who are pretty seasoned or experienced and can read the blockchain, nobody really has time to monitor it or be up to date of what's going on in real time. So we're going to solve that problem by bringing that information to them in the form of alerts, so they can act quickly or in time to be a safer and smarter trader. So that's really what it solves. Provides a lot of information, whether it's for due diligence, whether it's for knowledge, whether it's for learning and understanding, to be a better trader or investor.
Got you, man. That's what's up, dude. All right. So what is the main way you plan on achieving that goal?
So the main way is, so we created the Telegram bot. The main way would be just to ensure that it provides value. If it provides value, people will see it and they will use it. And that goal will be achieved through mass adoption. So if the tool does a good job, provides them valuable information and is useful, then they'll start paying more attention, and it'll achieve the goal of them becoming smarter traders and trading, projects with more based developers, people who want to try to make a difference or even want to have fun, but in a safe way. So the way to accomplish that is give them the value, give them tools, give them information, and the better that is, the more they'll use it and the more it'll accomplish the goal through the mass adoption of doing just that, just using it. So we've added a lot of value for people to want to use it. And as they use it, it'll accomplish the goal of making them smarter, better, safer, and hopefully encouraging and trading the safer plays out there, and not so much the scumbag plays.
All right, and I want you to go about how safer and helps them to avoid scams and potential scams. Talk more in depth with it in terms of like.
Yeah, sure. I can give you so for starters, the utility is a Telegram bot. You can scan a contract. It'll provide a lot of information from that contract scan, the tokenomics, the supply, the team wallets, the market cap, the price. So it'll first give you a quick overview, a report of a lot of information on that project. And once you've scanned and you've analyzed that information, people can choose to buy or trade it. And the way they'll be kept safe, because some of the information provided, like, if it's a honeypot or if it's got certain functions to be aware of, let's say there's a blacklist function or there's high taxes. So it'll provide that information to allow them to make a better decision, which in turn hopefully keeps them safer, see which ones are, or at least know their risks. Then how they're really kept safe is through the activities. Let's say they do decide to buy on that project based on the information they see, they like it, they make a purchase. They need to keep an eye on it. You want to keep an eye on the team, you want to keep an eye on the community, but more important, the actions speak louder than words. So you want to keep an eye on the blockchain. So it'll monitor different activities. For starters, it'll provide an overview of the funds being sent to team wallets, so the tax wallets, and it'll monitor the movement of these funds. So as funds leave, let's say the marketing wallet, the holders can either question it, review it themselves, or just have an idea, what are these funds used for? Are they being used for marketing? Is it for operations? Or is it going to Tornado Cash, for example? So it'll alert them on the funds movement, for starters, and to kind of gauge how the project is being managed. Then it'll also alert on tax changes or tax manipulations, as well as the breakdowns. I've seen many cases where some devs will say, you're getting 5% in rewards, but then they make changes on the blockchain and it's only 1% or 0%. Meanwhile, people are wondering, why am I not getting rewards? Well, the alert will tell them that. It'll it'll monitor liquidity pool changes. So if the liquidity pool is added, they'll get an alert. They'll say, oh, this is great. The dev is doing a good job. He's throwing some funds to the liquidity pool, or the reverse. He's removing liquidity pool. So now you have to decide, why is he doing that? Is it for malicious reasons, or is it some tactic? Normally, I see it as malicious, or just to farm. Other things it'll monitor is airdrop wallets. Sometimes a lot of projects will airdrop wallets to the teams, to the team members, and it'll alert you if those airdrops are being sold. So if I see big wallets or airdrops being sold 24 hours into a project, or even just a few days, that's not going to give me much confidence. So that knowledge can keep me safe that this is not a long term if the team members don't even believe in holding their tokens. So buybacks too. If they do buybacks, if they burn it, it'll alert you that they got burned. If they didn't burn it, you'll see the funds in their balance and see what they're doing with it. Or are they going to resell these tokens? It'll alert you if they resell the tokens they bought, which defeats the purpose. So that's how people will be kept safer, is knowing all these activities going on and making better judgments on how they're playing it.
Now, I feel like that's a fantastic way to do things. You're exactly right, all of that, man. There's a red flag when you see that the team itself can hold their own airdrop tokens. Like that right there. If they don't even feel confident in their own tokens, that is a bad thing, man. And it is true, man.
It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it's a red flag.
Yeah,
it's a red flag when you see when you go around and you see the taxes being changed and the rewards being changed without the team notifying you. Like, somebody needs to hold them accountable, man. So I think what you're doing is even more useful than regulations, my man. If I'm being totally honest, what you're doing is extremely useful, And although, I don't think it's necessarily it's not a bad thing if if holders are dumping, that's one thing, because they can buy and sell when they want. So that's not an indicator of a scam or a bad project. It's just their decision.
Exactly.
But for an investor, you may not, depending on your strategy and the size of your portfolio, what you're trading with, you may not want to buy in at certain points or at all in certain projects if that's going on. So not that it's a bad thing, but just, I'm just repeating this to clarify everything for people who are listening, man. Not
for
that
sure.
speaker. You are a good speaker. It's just when you hear it from two different people, it's more clear to people, man. So great job so far, man. Wonderful. Next thing I wanted to know is when it comes to, I know you guys have a honeypot detector as well. So here's the thing I got to say. So with honeypot detectors, those have cost me money. And when I say they've cost me money, I've watched them. And when I say this isn't even the minority, this is like half the time. Whenever I've used those honeypot detectors and the, even popular ones, I've seen it to where I've lost money on my pre-sales because I didn't invest when I was going to, and I could have made several $1,000s, but because it said it was a honeypot, I didn't. So I quit using them. So how have you fixed yours? How can we rely on yours?
Yeah, we're going to be trying to educate people. What I constantly preach is for people to judge that. Like, for example, just because a contract has a blacklist function doesn't mean you'll be blacklisted. In the end, trust in the team. So while you may see what a contract is capable of doing, or if the taxes are so high that it's being detected as a honeypot, people need there's a level of education that has to come with that. Like, why are these functions existing, or why are the taxes so high? Is it because it's just on blanche to prevent too many bots sniping it? So there is an educational factor on everything. It's the same thing with funds movement or funds being sold. Just because an airdrop got sold, is that a red flag? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. The information needs to be interpreted. And people, so if the airdrop is being sold because it's to fund, or because it was given to a marketing partner and the marketing partner is out. So these are things that are not always clear, but the activities is information. Information is knowledge. And people need to judge. And of course, through experience, like you have your experiences. Oh, well, I've lost funds because I didn't buy into what was being detected as a honeypot. But now that you have that information, or you've gotten that information, you will adapt and you will adjust, saying, okay, well, that doesn't mean a red flag. It actually means something else. So you'll gain knowledge. You'll educate yourself as people use it and see the data and what does it really mean. Sometimes it's 50-50. Sometimes 80% of the time it means red, and sometimes it doesn't mean anything, like you noticed, the honeypot. So it's hard to know for sure. Nothing is 100%. All it is we're providing data. That data can be a red flag, can be used for malicious purposes or not. There's variables to be judged. Some of it is clear, some of it is not. But for example, if one example is the marketing wallet sending out funds doesn't really mean anything. That's what it's for. It's meant to be spent. But when you see 3 transactions being sent, let's say, to the same wallet, and nobody else is getting funds, that to me would say, well, either you're paying the same marketing person 3 times in a row, or that's your private wallet and you're farming the marketing wallet. So people have to judge what the transactions are about. But again, that information comes to them. They can make more informed decisions knowing that, and they'll keep learning from it.
Absolutely, man. Just reiterating what you're saying, man. So what you've got going on, although it is innovative and it's great and it is reliable, it is still just a tool. It's not the end all be all. People still have to use their own judgment and factor and other things, man. So that makes perfect sense. Still with the honeypot, and I'm not negating anything you're saying. There's just questions I have about the honeypot feature. So one thing I've that sometimes other devices will call things honeypots and it's not a honeypot. Why does that happen?
It's the algorithms, it's the rules that are put in place. Now, for our honeypot label, we have only one piece of data saying this is a honeypot or not. We're using the honeypot.is website for that information. So we're using their algorithm and their rules of what they consider a honeypot. So they have a few behind the scenes things that they don't expose to the public. We don't know what their rules are, which criteria defines it for them as a honeypot or not. So I can't answer exactly what determines it as a honeypot. We're relying on somebody who's been doing it for a long time and using that information. It's well-known information in the space. So that's what we're using for that. As far as the functions, we do that ourselves. We scan the contract, we look up all the functions, and we list them. We list the functions that have the potential to be used in the wrong way. So like I said, just because a contract has a lot of ruggable functions doesn't mean it's going to rug. And same thing, like just because the liquidity pool is unlocked doesn't mean it's going to be dumped. Or rugged. So that's how we define the honeypot. We're actually relying for that label on honeypot.is at the moment. It's possible we'll create our own algorithm and define that. But there's also the fact that it changes. Sometimes a value will change. So something can be labeled a honeypot temporarily because of a fresh launch, and once changes are put in place, it's no longer considered a honeypot. But at that moment, it was. You couldn't sell, for example. So if I launch a token at 99% sell tax, yeah, it's a honeypot. I can't sell it at that moment, but it doesn't mean that the project is not legit. It could be a temporary thing. So again, we're providing the data. It's open to interpretation in some cases, in many cases.
Got you, man. That's real good. So another thing I wanted to say is, man, there's other projects that although I cannot give you specific names right now, there are projects I've seen that are doing something very similar to what you're doing. What would you say differentiates you and them? Like, what's the difference between you guys? Why do people come here instead of somewhere else?
Yeah, okay. So there are similarities, there are overlaps, and there are differences. The similarities is scanning a contract. Well, actually, I wouldn't even say similar. We have differences there. So at first, we scan a contract. We provide a bunch of information similar to other scanners out there. But we've added a lot of new, unique, additional info that others didn't have. Although we have noticed, I guess, people who've been inspired by us started adding features and information that they didn't have before because we provided it. But what's unique in our scanner, is now showing the team wallets, but now there's others doing the same thing. The balances of tokens or funds. Showing the airdrop wallets is still pretty unique. And social links was for the most part unique at one point, but not fully. But again, there's going to be similarities in the scan. So we have some additional info that by the way, the way we detect the contracts and the functions, we have some unique detections in there that we made, so that overlaps. Then the other thing that's different is we also provide charts. So most out there, it provides one piece of information or another. Maybe they'll provide charts. Some other people will provide honeypot data or contract functions. Other people will provide wallet balances. We provide everything. We're kind of like an all-in-one, which makes us also different. So we provide all the contract information, the social links, the team wallets, the airdrop wallets, the charting system. We'll also show the top holders with the values of tokens in their wallets, which is actually, I don't know if it's unique, but I haven't seen anybody do it yet, but not a hard thing for them to do if they want to add it. And we're also providing a lot of different functions. So what's unique is it's an all-in-one, but the extra info we're providing, but what's really different is the alerting system, the auto detection of the team wallets and the airdrop wallets and the contract changes alerts being sent to them, which is the main use case. So this is what we innovated on. That's how it started to be built, is providing these alerts to people. The rest were added on. It's like, yeah, let's give them some more info. Let's add some extra data. Let's show them charts. Let's show them tax summaries or reports, total taxes collected. These are all add-ons where there might be overlap, there might not. But that's what's really different, is the alerting system. Different tools out there have different alert system. Some of them not as user-friendly. Some of them it's very manual. You got to monitor the wallet yourself or figure it out yourself, which wallet is what. We also have the option for people to name their wallets. So instead of seeing a wallet address, if they want to label it with whatever label they want to have a reference point and keep a closer eye on that address. There's that too. Another unique feature we're bringing that's not out yet is a lot of the wallets will also have labels. They'll be labeled whether if it's a known caller or influencer wallet, if it's an exchange wallet, for example. So we'll be labeling these wallets again to try to help people better understand the data or dissect it. So saying that the marketing wallet sent 5 BNB to an address doesn't mean a lot to most people. Just means that, okay, money is being used or spent somewhere. But if it says sent 5 BNB to Achilles, it's like, oh, okay, great, or it's sent to Binance or it's sent to Tornado Cash. That label gives them that extra information. So that's also a unique aspect. I think I've seen someone kind of start doing it again. Like I said, we've been inspiring others. That was what I've noticed. Other bots to add some features that they never thought of or had before. So that's kind of what makes us unique. We're an all-in-one. We provide more data. We come up with our own innovative ideas, and we have this alerting system, which is the true value of the purpose and the use case of the tool, even though it has multiple use cases.
Got you, man. So, what would you say the biggest challenge has been creating this project since this is your first time?
The biggest challenge is, well, there's a lot to do, so time is always a challenge. You got to balance and organize yourself accordingly. The whole marketing space, I'd say, is challenging. I have a marketing background in the Web 2.0 world. But in the crypto world, obviously, it's very different, especially even in the meme world or the small caps world. So it's been challenging because, for one, is I need to experience and test things. And I'm one that I'm very analytical. I measure things. I assign values to things. In crypto, that's little more difficult. It's like the crypto world has a lot to learn in some cases when it comes to marketing. It's just a different world. So I need to adapt. I need to learn. I need to adjust. I need to see what works or not. So what's challenging is figuring out what works or not. A lot of what I've seen, unfortunately, doesn't. Or it has its purpose, you know. So what works for some types of projects will not work for others. It's very opposite. It depends on the audience, the type of project. Is it a community project? Is it a utility project, and so forth? So that's been challenging, and I'm exploring, and I'm going to be integrating Web 2.0 marketing initiatives into my crypto initiatives, as well as the whole crypto marketing space as well. So crypto marketing, you know, we got callers, we got AMAs. We've got shilling and rating and all that. But there are a lot of other initiatives I'm going to be working with. So that's been a challenge. But as I learn, I'll be more fluent. I'll know what I can rinse and repeat. So if Twitter raids is effective, or AMAs, I'll do more of those and give it that more focus and search out and seek out those marketing initiatives. So yeah, so that's been a challenge, I would say, is how to attract the right audience, and where to find it in a way that's efficient, in a way that provides a return on investment, versus just blindly doing things and gambling away your funds, your marketing funds, you know, which is, I think, what a lot of people seem to be doing. It's a chance, and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't.
I got you, man. And you know, so speaking of funding, man, you know, anytime you run a project, man, and this is something that a lot of people don't like to be asked, I'm assuming, but it's something it has to be talked about, man. So when it comes to funding, man, so outside of, you know, if your project doesn't take off the way that you want it, and you're not making money from the project the way you want it to, how can we ensure you're going to have money to be able to run the project properly and market the project properly when it's prime time, we're in the bull run, you know? Because a lot of people just say, you know what, I'm making this project, the project's going to make me money, but what if it doesn't make you the type of money you want it to, just relying on the buys and sells, the taxes, to make you money? You know, you got to have extra money on the side just in case. You got to have the extra source. So what would you say to that?
So yeah, so when it comes to funding, for starters, we're a core team of 4 members. None of us is requires any funding for us to do our work. We're all doing this with our spare time as an effort for future purposes, for future earnings. As far as funding operating costs, we've worked very hard to make our operating costs efficient, while being capable of performing and scaling accordingly to as our user base grows. So we think that's very manageable, and we do have a tax allocated for operating costs, which at this point we haven't even we've used. Plus, we funded it out of our pocket initially to begin with. You know, a lot of the operating costs, buying the servers needed or setting up certain things, we funded ourselves. So that's for the operating costs. And ongoing, of course, we are relying on the tax for the initial to get things going. For the marketing funding, when it comes to marketing, we're relying on solely on taxes at the moment as well. But the adoption of the utility is where the focus is. So if this utility is useful, helps people, everybody's going to want to use it, and it can be used in groups, in channels, in private groups, in DMs. That alone is like probably going to be our best marketing of just constantly exposing it to new people who are in Telegram, you know. And we got plans to expand on that as well. It's not going to be just in Telegram. So that alone is going to market our bot. As people see it, they'll say, oh, look, there's even a token behind it. Maybe it's worth investing. Or wait, there's additional features I can get if I hold some tokens. Maybe I should buy some tokens. So that's where we're going to get a lot of our marketing without even spending any money, just focusing on providing good value to people. And them using it is going to create volume on the chart, which is going to create funds, and it's going to create exposure. The other aspect is we also have ads on our on our bot outputs, which, of course, again, with user adoption, we'll be attracting advertising revenues and getting funding from there. So even if there's no action on the chart, there's no taxes coming in, well, we got users. With those users, we'll have funding. What do we do with those funds is still flexible and can be used for marketing, operations, can be used to give back to the holders because we're doing just fine covering our operating costs and or our marketing initiatives. And at that point, I would say, yeah, whoever's staking or holding tokens, these funds or a good portion of them, if not all, will go back to the holders who are just using the tool and holding tokens. So that's where the funding comes in from. And we also have another use case that can generate funds. And there's going to be other things we're going to be looking into, further on the roadmap. There's going to be an NFT collection, which will provide additional value to users and more funding towards the project, and other initiatives that I can't speak of now. But that's how we're managing the funds. And if need be, I believe in this project. If I have to take more funding out of pocket, I will do that as well, as long as it serves the purpose, it provides value to users, users are growing, users are using it, it's doing what it needs to do, well, it'll get funded.
Gotcha, man. That's what's up, dude. Now let's talk a little bit about the marketing, and then I'm gonna let the people come in and ask their questions. So one thing about the marketing, man, what you got is great, man. It's real good. But the one thing I have seen some innovative, great projects come into this space, and they can't take off because they're a new team, whether that means they only have a few projects in their background or this is their first project. And it doesn't take off because of the marketing, man. So what are you doing to ensure, you being a new guy, what are you doing to ensure that this project is going to have the proper marketing, man? Are you going to hire a marketing agency to do it for you? Do you have professional marketers on your team? Different things of that nature. Do you have a marketing background yourself?
Yeah. So for the marketing, so like I said, I've been testing out what marketing works or not. I am measuring while it's at a startup stage. I'm measuring as I'm testing these things. So I'm doing regular initiatives. I've tried a caller. I've done a few AMAs. I've done some Telegram shilling. I've done some Twitter rating, all in small pieces, all orphan, not all at once, no hype type of marketing, just little bits and pieces. Our community has grown to over 1,000 people with hardly any marketing. For example, even when I launched it, I've only done one call, and that was like a month later after the launch. And so for the marketing, there's a lot more to do. I want video reviews. I want case studies. For example, I have plenty of case study examples I can build of how you could have gotten out of a token or saved yourself or stayed in or dollar cost averaged into it because of the alerts. So a series of case studies is great marketing. So it becomes kind of like a no-brainer with these initiatives. And in the end, marketing is getting it in front of eyeballs and converting those eyeballs. What converts them is showing them value through case studies. What converts them is showing them potential to earn money by investing. What converts them is just using the utility. It's like, oh, this is good. Again, so the eyeballs are there. For marketing, again, it's going to be utility-based, value-based more than anything else. There's going to be some hype initiatives as well. And for example, outside of Telegram, we're going to be looking into bringing our bot into Discord. So we're going to get a whole bunch of fresh new eyeballs in there. We're going to be looking into potentially, I don't say we'll do it, having an ETH pair as well, along with the BSC pair. And then there's the whole web space marketing, the banner ads. That's my specialty. Online marketing, web tool, whether it's article, whether it's website traffic. I can scale websites. I can do heavy online marketing. But again, crypto is different, so I'm adapting, I'm learning, so we're not there yet, and also requires funds. So that's all phases, it comes in stages. So as we grow, As funds are available, there's a lot of marketing that can be done, but it's going to be one step at a time as it makes sense. And as long as I can get return on investment, then the marketing also becomes scalable. So for every 10 BNB that I spend, if I get back 12 BNB in marketing funds from it, then the next spend is 12. So that's a model that's scalable. But if I spend 10 BNB and my return is only 5 BNB back, I can't scale. So then I have to get a lot more creative or organic and so forth. So there's a lot to do and work out and figure out, but definitely there's things to do and explore. So we'll go one step at a time.
All righty, man. Man, appreciate you. Honesty and intent indirectly, man. Appreciate you coming here, like your project as well. Let's go ahead and get to these guys' questions. There's a lot of hands up. All right, Benova, you're up. Okay, Benova, go ahead, buddy.
Thank you very much, JC, for this opportunity. Can you hear me?
Oh, you're welcome, dude. Go ahead.
Yeah. I saw on the website that sorry, I'm coming. I'm trying to load it again. On your vision statement, sorry, you said you will to make trading safer by empowering the investor with data to help select legitimate projects while avoiding scam. I want to know what will be the duration of the data, like the data that you'll be providing to these investors, like how will I put it, like the duration of the data that you've collected, to help the investors make their choices. I want to know what will be the duration. I don't know if you get my question.
I think so. Well, the duration for the data, it's always fresh, it's new, it's live, it's constant. So there's no real duration. So the data that we have, an investor, first of all, asks for a report on a project. They'll get the initial data as it is live at that moment that they ask for it. Then they'll continuously get new data. They can continuously update their reports, their scan, and provide up-to-date data at all times. So it's live data. It's real-time, up-to-date data. And the alerts that we're sending people, it's activity that is happening at that moment. So a transaction from a project developer that he performs, the investor will get the alert. So I'm not sure if I understood your question, but it's not static data. It's not that it's old data. It's always real time, live information, straight from the blockchain as it's happening or as it's available. Hope that helps answer your question, if I understood it.
Yes, you understood the question. My second question will be concerning the bot. I want to know if you'll be implementing the bot on other platforms like the Discord. I don't know.
Yes, one of the things we're looking to do is, apart from adding more chains support, we'll be looking to bring this information to other users on different platforms. The one that we are targeting first would be Discord, because there's a lot of communities in there that could make very good use of this information and data as well. So where the users are, we'll try to bring them the data.
Okay. Thank you. You've answered my question with sincerity, Dan. And thank you, DC, for this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Yeah, man, you're welcome, dude. All right. Let's go to I like this guy. Let's go to guest speaker. Okay, buddy. I'm hopping off and I'm gonna let you take over. Your mic is unmuted. You can go and ask your question. Guest speaker, you are live.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
All right. Great presentation, man. It's been an awesome listening to you. and thanks for this opportunity. And I want to know now your project is strictly making a safe space for everyone, both in BSC and Ethereum. Now I want to know, have you put Degen investors into consideration in your bot? Because some investors properly like to play Degen plays. So did you design your bot to be able to distinguish between Degen plays, long-term plays, and short-term plays?
No. So a project is a contract is just a contract. There's nothing on the blockchain that can tell me that this project is meant for long term, or it's just a degen fun play, or a short term, or even if it has a utility. So all it does is it'll provide community links or website links if that data is available, and it'll provide data on the contract. But yeah, there's nothing to label it that it's a short-term play or degen. What we can do is, if in the future, let's say, people define that in their contracts, then we will show that information, But yeah, we don't know. We can't tell.
Yeah. I think so, but incorporating it into your bot can actually give it an edge over all other bots. I don't know if you understand.
What edge? No, I didn't understand the question. So you were talking about giving it an edge. In what sense?
Like making your bot identify a contract.
I think you cut off, but I think what you were saying is, go ahead. You had cut off if you want to re-ask.
I said putting that into consideration in future will be a big edge for your bots over all other bots.
Yes, it would be, but we need to make sure we provide accurate info, so we don't want to play a guessing game. But that's something, if ever we find a way to ID or label it, or at least give some indication, that would be good.
Yeah, that's definitely awesome. And I also saw on your white paper that you stated that if teams do not feel comfortable adding the bot into their TG, it's considered a red flag. Now, how can you convince a project owner or project investors that your bot won't act as a security threat or maybe a bot to alter their algorithm in their ecosystem?
On the security side, I'm not sure what the question is, but the first part where, we say it's considered a red flag because the data is already there. Why not show your community, especially the ones who don't understand it? And why only savvy people should be allowed to know or see what's going on with your project? It's like, if you're a public company, your books are open, your expenses and revenues are open. So yeah, so we're trying to encourage developers to use it. That's the first part. By what the data is there for them. Let people see it in real time. Don't let them dig, or don't only let the savvy people be aware of it, while all the other innocent investors or less knowledgeable investors are not privy to that information. On the security side, I don't understand what the question was for the security, meaning if they have it in their group, could it be a security risk?
Yeah, I was asking, how can you convince an investor or project owner that your bot is not a security threat to alter the algorithm of their ecosystem?
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, in the end, it's just a bot. It does need some basic privileges, only privileges to be able to post messages. So in order for the bot to, and it's a common thing, so we don't need any elevated privileges. The bot does not have access to delete messages or invite admins or anything crazy. The only thing it needs to be able to post messages in order to provide alerts or charts or scan reports. So the security is just that. The dev owners or Telegram owners need to understand administrative permissions to feel secure or not.
Hey, great exchange, you guys. Good work. Great questions from him, man, and great answers from you as well, dude. I like that. Let's keep that momentum going. All right, let's go to, speaking of momentum, let's go to Sujay. All right, Sujay, go ahead, man. You're up.
Hey, DC.
What's up, bud?
Hey, Sujay.
Hey, Dan.
Hey,
Okay, I was trying to use the bot, and it says you're not authorized to use the TTF bot. Is there? Do you need to get activated before you can use it, the free version?
so currently the bot is still in beta. It hasn't actually been released yet, but it will be released this week. So it hasn't been released. So because it hasn't been released, right now it's only on invitation for groups or lounges or private groups where I need to authorize it. So you can just send me a DM or Hosni a DM. We also have a lounge that we created just for people to come in there and test it and scan contracts or just see how it works. So that's its current status. So it's not available in DMs yet until the release, which is coming shortly. So we want to keep your eyes open on that. So yeah, so I need to authorize it. You can just send me a quick DM. I'll ask you what I need, and we'll get it authorized for you if it's for a group. If it's for DM usage, you have to wait or use the lounge.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, no, because the website said try out the free version, so I thought, but that's at least the actual version. I think anybody can then go to your website and click on the free version.
Yeah, that's an error on my part. I shouldn't have put that link there yet because it's not ready. I wanted to put coming soon, but I didn't do that. So that's my mistake.
No problem. Second question is, you're pulling up social links when I scan a contract. Now, this information is not available on the blockchain. So where are you pulling it up from if that isn't confidential?
Well, actually, we are getting it from the blockchain. So we're pulling that information from the contract itself. So, it's not always there. We will be pulling that information actually from other sources as well, because we want to try to provide people as much useful data as possible. So if that data is important, we will find other ways to provide it or be more complete or even accurate if that's the case. So we are pulling it from the blockchain at the moment.
Right. Yeah. If it's in the contract, then it's great. You're pulling it from there. It's accurate. But if you're trying some other method, why I asked that question is, I'm thinking somebody might try to inject a URL which takes you to a phishing site, and that gets picked up by your bot. So it could lead users to a totally different place. As long as you're pulling it from the.
Of course, wherever we get our data, we need to be diligent in where our data sources are coming from. And it's either coming from reputable sources that are known and widely accepted, or from the project owners themselves because they're publicizing it and we're picking up that data. So but most of the data is obviously accepted data and known data. It's reliable. But we're always diligent for that.
Perfect. Yeah, I like it, man. It's a much advanced version of the TGBots that I've seen, especially with the ability to pull up charts so quickly and stuff like that. So yeah, good stuff.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Man, that's good work, Sujay. I really appreciate you, bro. Sujay is always coming in with the fire, man. He's always doing it. We appreciate that. All right, let's go. Another guy will ask a good question. Let's get CC up. Okay, CC.
Thank you very much, DC. One question I wanted to throw in quickly was concerning, usage of your bot in Launchpads, right? So you can think about a project that you want to find out that is a scam or something, and then this project has already gone to a Launchpad, right? And then it's already on the pre-sale. Now the question is, how would you plan to still use your bot? Well, how would the Launchpad itself use your bot to, detect those scams that are already live on your pre-sale, right? So is it kind of like will be integrated on the Launchpad or something? How would people still determine that this is a scam when it's already launching, right? It's on the pre-sale.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. Right now, we scan only contracts that have been published and verified. So if a contract that is in a pre-sale, it might be published and verified, but it has potentially no liquidity pool in it yet. So at the moment, if a contract is not published on the blockchain and or not verified, therefore we can't see the code, we can't really report much on it. And we don't want to play guessing games or provide, incomplete information. We want to try to provide as much value as possible. So we can't scan unverified contracts. We're looking into potentially doing a mini scan where we'll provide maybe some basic information, even though it's not available, but some other information might be. So people might get a mini report to give them an idea. So we can only scan right now verified contracts to provide all the data we're providing. We're looking into maybe potentially providing less data when the contract is not verified. And the other part is we're only scanning live tokens, meaning they are tradable and they have liquidity pool in them. So if the liquidity pool hasn't been added as well to the contract, we're not going to scan it because we don't want potentially people buying something with no liquidity pool or that's not tradable. And also because, again, we'll do that maybe as a mini report, especially if something's about to launch and some people maybe want to keep an eye on it, even though the liquidity pool hasn't been added yet. But at the moment, if the contract's not verified and no liquidity pool, we can't give you a report. We can't give you all the information we're providing.
Yeah, interesting answer to that question, man. I was so actually thinking, when you talked about smart contract, and I was thinking sometimes developers could actually, they could make mistakes during writing the codes, and even if it's verified already, they've gotten their audit, then sometimes they may want to alter the code, they may want to change it, perhaps there may be some change in ownership, and then they actually change every detail of the smart contract. Now it's a new kind of like a new utility, right? Now, since your bot have already verified this as a good project, and now the smart contract is changed, all details are being changed, is the verification still gonna be valid, or they will have to revalidate again or something like that using your bot?
Yeah. So because information can be changed, people will rescan. The same way charts change, you have to keep looking up the new charts every day. So can contracts change. So can variables in the contract with all the functions they have at their disposal. This is why we added the alerting system so that people are aware of these changes. So if somebody were to change the taxes, they'll get an alert. If a dev were to start blacklisting wallets, they'll be getting alerts every time a wallet will get blacklisted. So certain actions, all contract actions, basically we're monitoring, and we're alerting the users who have the monitors enabled. So that's how we're trying to keep them safe, And like you said, information can change. So you might want to do a fresh report, a fresh scan to see the updated numbers, the updated holders, the updated market cap, the balances. Everything is constantly always changing.
Interesting. Awesome. It's pretty good to see how you guys have actually reorganized your bot to actually control these procedures and stuff like that. It's good stuff, man. And yeah. And
great, thank you.
Thank you, DC.
You are welcome, sir. And man, and this is the thing, man. Anytime that you see a community that can just keep on asking good question after good question after good question after good question, that's how you know you've got a good project on your. Because in order for people to be able to ask good questions, they got to have something good to ask about. You know what I'm saying? Let's get somebody.
Yeah.
Let's go with Goga Vita. Okay, Goga Vita, let's go. Let's have a good first impression.
Yeah, hello.
Hey there.
Hey, thank you, DC. Thanks for the opportunity. So, straight with my question. So, I really want to know, concerning this your project, I go through your website, this buy and competition there. in which if we bought, if we buy your token and 0.2 BNB, so we get the reward, and the highest for the reward in the buy competition is 1 BNB. So I really want to know if like now, if I have like 2 to 3 wallets, then I buy 0.1, then I buy 0.2 in the same in.
What you can do, Golg, sorry,
Sorry.
keep going, or you got cut off. But I think I understand your
Okay,
question.
so if I buy 0.1 and 0.2 in one wallet, then in the other wallet, I buy like 2 BNB. So what are the criteria for me that the reward?
We can, in your case, if you want, you can DM me and we can discuss and verify and validate, and I'll adjust according to your situation. But generally speaking, it's the competition is for every only one wallet can win one reward, and you'll win according to your buy. Now, if there's something to add up or merge or verify, just send me a DM and we'll work it out. Don't worry about it. I need to validate it, and then I can explain to you what your specific situation would be.
Okay, thank you. And DC, can I go with another question?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so my another question is there any referral program in this project? Which if I refer another my friend, so I can get a reward for that?
I didn't understand. If you want to make another purchase, like I said, only one wallet.
There's a referral program.
What you can do, Gold, if you're not sure about how the competition works, you can send me a DM. And maybe it will be easier for me to explain or look at your specific situation.
I talk about the referral program into this your project, referral.
Oh, the referral program. Well, no, we don't have a referral program at the moment. But feel free to help your friends out and tell them what such a great project TTF is. Yeah, but there's no referral program at the moment.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. You're welcome.
Good work, guys. Good work. Let's see. Let's go to Yukamin. Well, I put a picture of him sleep here. Anyways, besides the point. All right, Yukamin, go ahead. Okay, we can go right on. Let's go to Jamie. Jamie has been active. Let's go, Jamie. Let's see what you got.
All right, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, Jamie. Go ahead.
Yeah, my question goes this way. Why do the team limit the max transaction and max wallet? And how do you intend to prevent a single investor from owning a large percentage of supply and hence the possibility of price manipulation?
If I understand correctly, you're talking about the limits and what they might be or what we have in place. I'm not sure if that's what was your question, or how to prevent big sells. Maybe is your question. I didn't really catch it all.
Why do the team limit the max transaction and max wallet? Do you get me?
I'm not sure, but let me just tell you what we have in place. So, the maximum a holder can hold in one wallet is 2% of supply, which also means it's the max transaction. So the maximum transaction a trader can make is also 2% on one wallet. It's actually also been hard coded in the contract, so we cannot change it. I cannot say I can exclude a wallet. Sorry, I'm giving you inaccurate information. But basically, the way it's set up right now, we have a max wallet of 2% only. So trades can be done at a maximum level of 2%. So nobody can do a transaction more than that by selling tokens on the market.
Yeah, okay. So sorry, if I'm to ask, why investors get informed about the changes of the tax before it probably gets changed?
For the tax, the way it's set up is the contract. So as there's volume buys and sells, the tax that's applied, which is currently 10%, is accumulated in tokens, and when it reaches a certain threshold, it automatically sells whatever that threshold is set at. So the reason for this is funds are needed in BNB to begin with for marketing or operating costs or whatnot. So I put it in an automated way because I want it to be transparent. I don't want to be manually controlling. I would also actually always feel bad to sell the tokens after somebody just made maybe a big buy or something and manually say, oh, well, I need some marketing funds to pay a Chile, so I have to sell some tokens. And I actually feel it's wrong for me to sell any tokens on my users, especially when I'm telling them to buy or I'm telling them this is a great project and we're going places. So it's set up that it automatically sells. It's transparent. We don't control it. We just control the threshold that we think is healthy or adequate for the chart. So that's how it works.
Thanks. Sorry, lastly, how do I know the exact number of airdropped wallets with the address of the wallet? Probably. I don't know if you understand me.
I think, well, if you're talking about the airdrop wallet. So when we launched the token, we sent 90%.
Like, I meant, like, how do I know the exact number of the airdrop wallet? Like, if I want to know.
Oh, well, it's on the blockchain for starters, but we also report that information in our scanner. That's one of the pieces of data we provide. So the report will show just the first 3 airdrop wallets, but it will also report the total if there's more than 3. It'll show you the balance of tokens in that wallet. And of course, if they sell tokens, it'll show you the new balance on a rescan, and it'll also show you the alert when that sell happened. And anybody can see this information on the blockchain. So we provide that easy for them in the Telegram as much as possible, and we notify them of changes. But that information, anybody can query the blockchain themselves if they're able to or they know how. So we can't hide that. Nobody can really hide that. And we report it to people because a lot of people don't know how to see this information.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Dan. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, VC.
Got you, man. That's what's up, dude. Good questions. All right. Let's go to Tolga. Tolga. Okay, Tolga, you're up, buddy.
Hey, man. Thank you very much. I will focus on notification and report mechanism. Let's say I am not so adapted with the trade bots, but I imagine that notification mechanisms do not go so distinguished. For example, you require some notifications on any subject. Actually, 2 parts. Does the bot have any separable notification alert mechanism like sound, intervals, etc. And 2, for example, I am such a guy, I miss a lot of notifications in any other apps. So is there any the report mechanism at the end of the day to summarize that what I have missed during the day? That's my question. Thank you.
Okay, so that's a great question. So as far as I think your first part was kind of distinguishing or being well aware of what the notifications are. We try to provide and word it in a way that this wallet, and we put the label, let's say the dev wallet has sent X amount of BNB to this wallet. So we try to explain or provide it in plain English to the user what the transaction is about. Sometimes we elaborate on it. Sometimes we'll give a suggestion to try to educate people. So that's the first part, if I understood, is trying to maybe distinguish different alerts. As far as being able to not miss any, or see a whole overview, the use case for the investor or trader who wants to monitor their holdings should be used in DMs with the bot. So basically, it's only you and the bot in a conversation with all your scans and all your alerts. Now, if you're monitoring 5 tokens that you're invested in, every day you come to your Telegram and you'll see they're all there, the alerts. But as far as being mixed between 5 different tokens and different scans and charts, maybe you want to backtrack. An easy way to do that, so we don't have a way to just summarize it all for you in one place. It's all by timestamps in the order you receive them. But an easy way is to just do a search of the token name in that bot, in that Telegram. So if you perform a search, let's say for Dogecoin, it'll show you on the side all the Dogecoin alerts and all the scans or charts you've pulled up. So it's an easy way to that's how I kind of do it when I want to focus in on one token. I just perform a search of that token name and boom, I have all the alerts nice and listed for me that I can go through them and backtrack what happened 3 days ago or a week ago. So that's one way for you to kind of like catch up or consolidate. Hope that helps answer your question.
Thank you. I got that second part very, very well. About the first part, yeah, I mean that, customizing alerts, sounds, etc. It was about. Okay, that's very you figure out something very useful, I suppose. Thank you very much, and good luck. And thank you, DC.
You're very welcome.
Some questions, bud. Questions. All right, let's go to Flavy Ghost. Okay, Flavy Ghost, go ahead, sir.
Thank you for the opportunity. Man, my hands will start to pain me. All right. My first question about the project is your bots. I tried using it, and Suje had asked already. So I want to ask. At the end of it, there was a disclaimer there. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. There was a disclaimer that the results of the bot are not 100% accurate. So I want to ask you, the dev, is there like a percentage or accuracy ranking on your bot? And also, what situation or should I say context made you realize that, the bot is not 100% accurate? And what situations would we actually need to know that these bots are not accurate in the predictions? Or
okay, no, okay, let me answer that. So for starters, we're not really saying it's not accurate. We're saying, this is an automated report. Do your own diligence. It's not financial advice. And we're just reporting the data. And the data is coming from potentially different sources. So to the accuracy of that data, it might not be 100%. In many cases it is, because in many cases it's basic blockchain data. But there could be a glitch. So let's say we're calculating our own market cap, or we're grabbing the market cap from some third-party API service. Let's say we're taking the data from Dex Tools, and Dex Tools is providing inaccurate data. Well, then we will too, because that's where we're getting the data. If we're doing our own math calculations, there might be a glitch, maybe in some contracts where it might provide inaccurate calculations because of some variable. But we are constantly looking at this data. We're constantly accepting feedback and correcting any glitches or any anomalies with certain contracts that we see if it doesn't grab the data. But in most cases, it is accurate because it's just clear data. But in some cases, like I said, there might be miscalculations because of X reason or unknown reasons, or because of the source where we're grabbing that data might be also inaccurate. So that's why we say it's an automated report, and you still got to do your own research if you want to cross-reference it, check it, verify it. Nothing is ever 100% in automation. A lot of times there's dependencies.
All right, thank you. My final question is, the crypto space is always evolving with, different methods of creating blockchains and smart contracts and the rest. And in order to ask my question, I want to bring us back to early last month during the anime token trend. I don't think if you remember.
No, I'm not sure what you're referring to. So last month, what are you referring to that happened last month?
During the anime, should I say anime phase of tokens, where people were creating anime
Okay.
tokens on yes, there was a particular token, either Saitama or Naruto, that
Okay.
rocked, and then it rocked a very high market cap, like about 600,000. And then
Yeah.
the people were confused because the liquidity was locked, a contract announced, and all of that. And then I think a space on Twitter I was there, and they were talking about something like bugs, where contracts deployers can fix a bug, come out like a very verified contract, and by the end of the day, they will still be able to manipulate it somehow. So, is your bot advanced enough to check something like that? And also, this might be a bit of a suggestion, but do you think you would like add a feature whereby contracts that the bot has analyzed, be displayed, but there are some, if there is a sketchy, a sketchy part to that contract, it'll be some kind of a coding or a color code for it. I don't know how to put it, but it's something that I just
Yeah,
like to
I think I know what you mean. So
Yeah.
as far as us defining the meaning, so like I said, we report the data and the functions that a contract has. We report changes that happen throughout it. We try to detect as much as possible. There are sneaky ways. There are many ways a development team can run a project, whether it's through blacklisting, whether it's through high taxes, whether it's through removing liquidity pool, whether it's through some other bug on the contract or hidden feature. So we try to report as much as possible what we can see. We try to keep people up to date with the alerts. But in the end, there's always still a trust factor in the team behind it, that plays a critical role too. It's not just on the contract. And a lot of times contracts are ruggable. So there has to be a trust factor because there's so many sneaky ways people can do it. But that's why we're providing that data so people can be more informed of what's possible, what's not. They can even question, it's like, oh, I noticed you have this function in your contract, or you've made this change to your contract. You can question the development team and say, what's this about? Can you provide some answers? And then you can judge if that information is, proper, is acceptable or not to you. So it's not 100%. And as far as labeling the colors of what's high risk and what's not, in the end, we're giving warnings on the functions that can be used and can be risky, but we can't really say, oh, this is really risky, don't touch it. Like the example in the beginning of the EMA, a token, you scan it, it's reported as a honeypot because the taxes maybe are set so high, so you can't really sell it. So if I tell people, oh, don't buy it, this is a scam, it's high risk, I can't give that kind of advice. I need people to judge for themselves because maybe it's temporary. Maybe there's a reason why that high risk feature is on, or the blacklist is enabled. So for us to classify it, it's kind of like us passing judgment, or we don't know what's going to happen in the future. So we're just going to say, okay, it has a function. Here's a warning. It has a blacklist function, or warning, it's a honeypot at the moment. You can't sell it because the taxes are too high. We can't say red or don't buy. We just want to make sure they get the warning. And different people see it. Some people will see it as red. Some people might say it as yellow. Other people will say, no, this is no problem at all because I know it's temporary. So I don't care that it's 99% tax. I'm buying this because I know about the community or the team. So but we're gonna try to provide as much data as possible, but it is often open to interpretation in some cases.
All right, thank you. Do you think, or rather, would you be working on the efficiency of the bot in the near future to be able to detect this certain, should I say, high grade bugs on these contracts? As the crypto space is evolving, I think you should work on the efficiency of your bot as well.
Well, what part? Because currently, uh, we're in beta and been doing a lot of efficiency improvements, and it's very efficient at the moment. We're currently in about over 300 groups. Our bot, as it's been in beta and through invitations, has done over 60,000 scans of contracts, not counting alerts and charts and everything else. And people are saying, and we've been doing a lot of testing, it's very fast, it's very efficient during this stage. But we're also setting up ourselves with the proper resources to be able to scale, to be able to adapt to user growth, and we will adjust and continue to adapt to these things. So yeah, efficiency is important, if that's what you mean. Currently, it's working very well, and we're still constantly improving on it, even though it's working very well. We're still optimizing.
Good answer, man, and good question as well. Let's get to some comment questions, all right? Let's go to Thofan. Will all features be free? Dan, we can't hear you, bud.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, go ahead again. What was that?
So Thofan wants to know, will all features be free?
All features? No. So we have 3 tiers. We have in the end, they're all free because we're not asking for money, but we are asking for some requirements. So they're all free. So you have the basic scanner, charting, other functions, and some alerts that have no requirements other than just using the bot. So the alerts would be funds being moved from the team wallets, for example, and tax changes to the token. The additional features would require somebody to be holding some tokens. So other advanced alerts is airdrops, wallets, selling, contract changes, liquidity pool removals, and such. Those require people to hold a certain amount of value in tokens, which is currently we have it set at $200. So if you hold $200 worth of tokens, you will be able to get those alerts. And then we have another tier higher than that. So it's still free because the tokens, you own them. You're not paying $200 to get these features. You're just holding $200. And if ever you don't want them, you can sell them right back at whatever value. They may grow in value, they may go down. But since this is new and users should be growing, there are no users at the moment. It can only grow at this point. Chances are so will your value in tokens. But as long as you're always maintaining $200 worth, you get those alerts. And the last tier is you will need to hold $1,000 worth of tokens. This tier is not currently available, still under development. The only difference is it's the same features, same alerts, but it will provide labels on the wallets. So all the transactions between wallets, we'll be attaching labels on them to say if it's a caller or an influencer or an exchange. So that's the additional extra value that tier gets.
Gotcha. That's what's up, man. All right, so this next question is going to be a yes or no answer. So Ice Crypto wants to know, will there be a D app or is it just going to be a Telegram bot?
For the moment, it's just a Telegram bot. Our next step is Discord. There's nothing I can disclose as if it's going to be a DApp at this moment. It's a possibility.
All right, so let's go to Thiago's next question, and that is, what are some difficulties you guys have faced on your roadmap?
Not really difficulties, just the time to get things done. There's no real difficulties. We know what we planned out and set to do, we are doing. Obviously, we want to do it quickly. We want to do it as fast as possible, or we want to do it as properly as possible and high quality. So the difficulty, I guess, would say, is trying to do things the right way, trying to do things of high quality, slows us down.
If you don't have difficulties, don't add stuff to yourself. Just say, hey, look, guys, we've been going on our roadmap, man, and we haven't really faced many difficulties just yet. We may face them in the future, but right now we haven't hit anything. Everything's been going smooth. And that's what's been happening. So, Tiago, everything's been going smooth for these guys. These guys have not had any issues so far with their roadmap. That's what's been going on. Now let's get one more question from the VC, and that'll be the end of it. Let's go to East Coast. He's brand new. All right, East Coast, let's do it, bud. All right, East Coast, you're up, bud. East Coast, I'm going to give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Now let's go on to Dwicky. Okay, Dwicky, you are up. Go ahead, buddy. Let's hear from Dwicky.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, my question is, do you have any plan to release the bot outside of Telegram, maybe on Discord or on your website?
Oh, he already
Because we
answered.
all don't know
He's got
when
plenty.
Telegram will
But
got bad or maybe go bankrupt.
He had already answered that one, bud. He did say he was going to. All right, so let's go to someone else. Let's hit up Ziggy. Okay, Ziggy, go ahead, brother. Your question is up. Ziggy, I'm going to give you a few seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Let's move right on. Let's go to Peter. All right, Peter, you are up. Go ahead and ask your question, sir.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Great hammer. So I just want to go straight to my question. In this day, we have some contracts that we activate some function whereby the taxes will be changing with time and with volume. We are both able to detect that. And we also have this function multiple sell whereby the contract or the developer will manage to sell a large percent of the token at once. We are both able to detect that also.
Sorry, I didn't catch the question properly. It will detect tax changes and transaction alerts, but I'm not sure what was your question of if it will detect what exactly.
There's this function in multiple sell whereby the contract or the developer will manage to sell a large percent of the token at once. They will include that in the contract. We are both able to detect that.
Yes, it detects any changes that are made to the contract. So if it's a change to the contract on the blockchain, it will detect it. Regardless of what the change, it will send a transaction saying it detected this transaction, and then somebody will need to dig into it. So if it involves a transaction, yes, it will detect it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, DC.
You're welcome.
You're very welcome, man. All righty. Time for Dumbledore to take over. Let's hit that duck race, bud. Let's do it. Man, Dan. Ooh, Dak, almost muted you. All right, Dan, man, you did a great job here, man.
Oh, great. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Great asking questions.
You're a great host.
All right.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Let me go ahead and stop this recording. Dan, you're more than welcome to hang out.